Hello and welcome to today's video. Since buying my new house, I've actually managed to develop a morning routine. And in this morning routine, I have a shake. So I basically mix a potion together of some different products, some different powders, some different substances, and benefits have been remarkable. I have seen consistent improvements in my gut, my digestive health, my energy, my mental clarity, my productivity, my focus, and my ability to just naturally feel positive, good, and optimistic, which is so important. And I think it's something a lot of people are missing. And the reason I say this is I was missing it for a really long time. And whilst I can't attribute all of these benefits to this shake that I take in the morning, I'm certain that it's playing a very pivotal role. So I'm going to share with you today 5 powders that I'm having on a daily basis that are unquestionably absolutely changing my life and improving my health. And not only am I going to tell you what they are, I'm going to tell you how they work, why I use these products specifically. So we're going to go into the nitty gritty and we're going to look at the difference in the supplements. We're going to look at the quality and when it's appropriate to spend a little bit more to get a higher value product versus go for a more cost-effective option. And we're going to go into a little bit of a deep dive on each of these products. So in no particular order, let's get started. First of all, and I actually have these here, I'm going to show you. First of all here, we have whey protein. And I want you to just notice, this is grass-fed. When I bought this, I didn't actually know it was grass-fed, but knowing this is grass-fed at this price point, this is an amazing product. Now, you might be thinking, okay, well, maybe you're having a protein shake because you're trying to build muscle or you're working out, you're training, you're a young guy, you're healthy, you're trying to build your physique. All these things are true, but this is actually not why I'm taking whey protein powder. And I'm going to share with you some surprising benefits with regards to specifically detoxification that you might not be expecting to get from a product like whey protein powder. And this kind of ties into my philosophy that one of the best ways that you can support your body to detox is to nourish it, is to provide it with the resources that it needs to function. Because the thing is, detox is a metabolic process and it requires ingredients. Your body doesn't just do detoxification out of magic, out of thin air. It actually requires nutrients, calories, specific amino acids, and an appropriate environment for it to be able to detox. And whey protein powder very sneakily actually helps you here in a very profound way. So this is the base of the shake. This is the powder that takes the most volume. And I would say it's arguably the most important because all of the other things are beneficial and helpful. But if you don't cover the nutritive elements, if you're not covering the basic nutritional aspects, then this whole thing is kind of pointless. So this is where the foundation is built. So I want you to think about protein in a bit of a different way. Now we're going to have to do a bit of a deep dive here. So I'm going to come a little bit closer so I can explain this to you. We're in a culture now, in a society, in the modern world where protein isn't everything. You can see these yogurt drinks that are protein. I was actually in the supermarket earlier today and I was in the cereal aisle and I could see these basically these protein cereals. But if you look at the ingredients, you'll see protein is coming from a plant-based protein source. And this isn't necessarily a bad thing, but the thing about protein from plants is they don't have a complete amino acid profile, which means it's more than just the total protein count that you need to be looking for. You need to look at what is the composition of the amino acids of these proteins. So proteins are basically made of amino acids, and different types of protein are made of different types of amino acid combinations. The shortcut to this is to just understand that all animal foods, so if it's coming from an animal product, if this is eggs, this is fish, this is meat, this is dairy, all of these things have a complete amino acid profile. They have the most optimal amino acid profile that your body needs to function. Not just in regards to gaining muscle and all of these other things that you might have associated with protein intake, but actually with detoxification, with longevity, with gut health, with all of these actual health benefits that you're looking for, aside of just these over sort of strength training benefits that you would get. So all animal products, the best sort of protein. But whey specifically has a little boost, a little kind of secret superpower, which is the reason that I choose to use a whey protein powder versus something like an egg white protein powder or a beef protein isolate, which is actually a very good alternative if you are sensitive to dairy for some reason. So a beef protein isolate is a good substitute if you can't do dairy. But if you can do dairy, it is actually the superior option to go with a whey protein. And this is because it's very high in one specific amino acid called cysteine. Cysteine is actually, for most people, the rate limiting factor in their ability to make glutathione. Glutathione being the primary antioxidant of the human body. It is one of the most powerful antioxidants that exists, and our body can literally make it. It makes glutathione using glutamine, glycine, and cysteine. And cysteine is usually the rate limiting factor. So this is the amino acid that the body usually has a deficiency of that's stopping it from making more glutathione. And whey protein powder is the highest dietary source of cysteine. And this is just because naturally dairy products are very high in cysteine. And if you think about it, it kind of makes sense because a dairy product is basically milk, which means it's food for a baby. And if you're going to be feeding a baby, you want to make sure you're giving it a lot of building blocks and a lot of raw ingredients. And obviously, making sure that it can build up its antioxidant status as a child whilst it doesn't really have developed immunity, whilst it's very susceptible to oxidative damage and environmental toxins. Having a higher amount of these really important amino acids makes a lot of sense. So this is why we go with a whey protein powder as the optimal option, and this is what I've been using and it's working amazing. Next on the list, we have a little addition. This is also technically a protein powder, but this is exactly what I'm talking about in this previous point with you have to look at what's the composition of the protein. It makes a difference. This next product is actually a very interesting product, and I'm considering doing a deep dive, like a very, very deep dive into this product in its own video. So if you're interested, you have to let me know because I only want to make videos that you're interested in seeing. So this is a collagen powder. However, this is multi-collagen, as you can see here. We've got types 1, 2, 3, 5, and 10. So you've probably heard of collagen, but maybe you didn't know that there are basically these 5 different types of collagen. And the thing is, these different types of collagen have very different effects in your body. You've probably heard of collagen being used for skin health, or maybe it helps your hair or your nails. And maybe, and I wouldn't be surprised, you've probably heard that collagen can also be good for your gut. But the thing is, most of this collagen that you're hearing about is just type 1 collagen. There's actually type 2, type 3, type 5, and type 10. And these have very broad and profound benefits that you just don't get from type 1 collagen. So if you'd be really interested in a super deep dive where we go into each of these benefits, type 1, type 2, type 3, type 5, type 10, I explain where all of these different types of collagen come from, what the benefits of these different types of collagen sources are in your body and how they can be beneficial for your health, I'd be really happy to make that for you, but you have to let me know you're interested. So leave me a comment down below. Just write something like collagen video, give me a collagen video, tell me about collagen, I really want the collagen video. Just let me know, because I'm not going to make it if you're not interested, because I want to make something that's actually helpful for you. So what I can do is just give you a broad overview of why I add this here. So with this full spectrum of different types of collagen, we're getting skin health benefits. We're getting benefits in your gut. So collagen also is very rich in these other amino acids that you need to make glutathione. So it's rich in the glutamine and the glycine. This is one reason that collagen is very often used for gut health, is because it's high in these compounds, which are really important in the turnover of new cells. So like the regeneration of your digestive system. So this can be really helpful for this. But when we've got these additional collagen types, we've also got benefits in detoxification. We've got benefits in joint, tendon, and ligament problems. So if you have like EDS or ligament laxity or any type of autoimmune condition that's affecting any tissue in your body that's collagen based. So this could be fascia problems, this could be adhesions, this could be scar tissue, this could be any type of skin problem, all of these different things. Having a broad spectrum of these different types of collagen peptides can be really profoundly helpful. Another thing that's really worth noting is that the combination of this protein powder, so you'll see here, with the size of the scoop, you get 23 grams of protein. You add the collagen, this one doesn't actually tell you, but I can read it on the back here. It says a serving size is 10 grams, so the scoop inside is 10 grams. This is overall giving you a total of 33 grams of protein. Between 30 and 35 grams of protein in one serving specifically of animal proteins is what we're aiming for. Doing this first thing in the morning. So I do this shake as a part of my breakfast. Either it's my whole breakfast or I'll have this with something like some toast or like some carbs or something on the side. But hitting that 30 to 35 grams of protein, especially if you do this earlier in the day. So if you're doing intermittent fasting, skip dinner, don't skip breakfast. It's the wrong way to do it. There's a lot of benefits to eating breakfast and skipping dinner instead. If you have this shake and you have this 30 to 35 grams of protein, within the first hour or so of waking up, you're going to have a very profound stabilizing effect on your blood sugars throughout the day. This is true regardless of what you eat for the rest of the day. So if you have this shake first thing in the morning and you get your 30 to 35 grams of protein, even if for the rest of the day you're eating sweets and cookies and candy and biscuits and pizza. And I'm not saying you should do that, but what I am saying is if you were to do that, you would reduce the blood sugar impacts by 40 to 50%. It's profound. You also provide yourself a very strong antidote to stress throughout the day. So one of the common things that happens throughout the day when you're experiencing stress is your blood sugars will fluctuate. Having this kind of protein intake first thing in the morning provides so much of a buffer. It protects your body profoundly from these types of fluctuations in blood sugar and your tolerance and your resilience to stress. If for some reason you're not eating 30 to 35 grams of protein and you were to just add this in alone, just these two products, the collagen powder and the grass-fed whey, I would expect that you would see profound benefits in your mood. I would expect that you would see profound benefits in your mood. I would expect that you would see profound benefits in your mood, in your energy levels, in your tolerance to stress, in your energy levels, in your tolerance to stress. People say things and you just want to be sharp. You just want to be like a snide comment. You can feel it bubbling up inside of you. This is like an antidote to that. This protects you from that. It really helps your body adapt and respond to stress. So these are primarily the nutritive components, but we do have some other things in here as well. And these are the things, these are like the icing on the cake. These things really do make this an absolutely magical. They really make this a magically medicinal addition to your morning routine. So first of all, we've got some cacao powder. So this is raw cacao. I personally find that for me, cacao has a very profound effect in my creativity, in my outlook. So I am extremely positive. I find it very easy to be this kind of like uplifting energy in the world. Like wherever I go, I just feel like I'm vibing on like a different level from everybody. And I just feel like I naturally want to just pick everyone up. You know, something's going on over here, something's going over there. I'm like vibing up here, you know, I feel really, really good. And I know that traditionally this kind of product, this cacao, was considered to really help in opening the heart chakra. So you don't have to believe in that. If you're not open to the energy things, then you're lost, basically. I think it's really important to be open to those things if you're looking for long-term healing. But there's this belief that it really helps to cultivate and open the heart chakra. And I really feel this. I feel like inside of my chest, I feel like having this, it kind of opens me up like this, and it kind of makes me more open to the world and makes me more open to give and to receive and to relate and to feel love and positive emotional experiences. It's also nice because it adds a chocolatey flavor. Raw cacao itself tastes like chocolate, but it's not sweet at all. So this has basically zero glycemic impact at all. This is essentially keto, and obviously you can add a sweetener if you want, but personally I find that this actually tastes really good just as it is. I really like the taste of cacao just by itself. I find that the other things like the whey kind of counteracts the bitterness, and it ends up just being like a very balanced sort of chocolate shake. So it adds this benefit, this uplifting benefit. It also does have some caffeine. I'm extremely sensitive to caffeine. If I have one coffee in the morning, it can even affect my sleep at night. I'm just very sensitive to stimulants. But I find that with cacao, even though it has caffeine in it, it provides this lift in my mood, in my energy, but without all of this like jitteriness, this anxiousness, or this negative impact on my sleep later in the day. So this, for me, amazing addition. I really, really love it. We have 2 ingredients left, and the next one I'm going to tell you about is actually probably my favorite on this whole list, just from like a nerdy angle. So I personally identify as a bit of a mycophile. So a mycophile is somebody that really loves mushrooms. They find mushrooms to be extremely fascinating. I've loved learning about fungus. I love learning about mushrooms. A part of this happened because a part of my healing journey was recovering from mold illness. So I really wanted to understand, how does yeast work inside the body? I wanted to learn about candida, and I really started on this health angle. But then I started learning about psychedelic mushrooms. I started learning about the health benefits of how does yeast work inside the body? I wanted to learn about candida, and I really started on this health angle. But then I started learning about psychedelic mushrooms. I started learning about the health benefits of different medicinal mushrooms. And that's basically what this next product is. This product, in my experience, It's an 8 mushroom blend. In here, I'm going to read these mushrooms out for you. So the ingredients aren't super clear. I might read some of them out twice, but I'm going to give it a go. It explains that the mushrooms come from Inner Mongolia, Siberia, Fujian, Jilin, Jiangsu, and Zhejiang. I probably pronounced that terribly. And it has a different extraction method for each of the mushrooms, depending on what's necessary to get the most antioxidants and beneficial compounds out of these different. So from the fruiting body, they extract of turkey tail, cordyceps, reishi, shiitake, maitake, agaricus blazai, and of the fruiting body and mycelium, they take lion's mane. And of the, I don't know what this word means, it sounds like a naughty word, sclerotium, who knows what that is, they take from chaga. And they use different extraction methods. So they've got hot water and dual extraction methods. This product is amazing. When I taste this, it is phenomenal. Sometimes when you get these like healthy compounds, and don't worry, we're gonna come to that in a minute. When you get these healthy products, often they taste absolutely horrible. They taste vile, very bitter, very, very healthy. This does not taste bad at all. I will say this product is very expensive. I almost feel like embarrassed buying this because it's tiny. This is like 100 gram serving size. I think this was like 50 euros, 40 euros. This is really expensive. However, I can say it's phenomenally good. And even just a really, really small amount is absolutely phenomenal. The reason that I think it's so expensive, and I actually think it's worth it, is that they're not just taking the mushroom and just like chopping it up and putting it in a powder. They're actually preparing it correctly, where they're extracting a lot of the nutrients. And this was one of the angles that I really wanted to take with making my shake, is I didn't want just to throw a bunch of random stuff in. I really wanted to optimize to remove as many anti-nutrients as possible and optimize for bioavailability. Now, I know some people are going to say, oh, but you've got raw cacao powder. That's really high in oxalates. Yeah, well, I don't have a problem with oxalates. They don't bother me at all. So I'm not worried about that. But when it comes to mushrooms and things, often they bulk them out with a lot of these like fibers and these materials that aren't really high in the compounds that you're looking for. This product here, and I'm not affiliated. If somebody from this company watches this video and you want me to be one of your affiliates, please tell me, because I would love to endorse your product. This is amazing. It would also mean that I get this for free, which would be crazy. I would love to do that. But overall, this product, as far as like the quality of it is, I was completely blown away. Like I said, I cringed a bit when I bought it first, but it is amazing. I'm definitely going to buy this again. For me, this was a 10 out of 10 and I feel it. So the benefits that you feel from something like this are actually very broad. It has a very profound effect of benefits. So first of all, the reason that I wanted to do this in the first place is for the adaptogen benefits. So all of these mushrooms are basically functionally adaptogens. So these are compounds that have an adaptogenic effect, which means when they come into your body can utilize these compounds in different ways depending on the need of the body. So the best way to think about this is in the context of something like adrenal fatigue, where this is kind of characterized where somebody has a lot of lethargy and they're very tired during the day. But then when it comes time to sleep, they're like anxious, almost like buzzing with this nervous energy. It's like this tired but wired feeling. And you don't have to go all the way to the end of being like in a disease state and having adrenal fatigue to know what I mean, because I'm sure that there's some days where you wake up and you just feel tired. And there's some days where you probably try to go to sleep and you're just wired and you can't kind of calm down or relax. Adaptogens help on both ends of the spectrum. So if you're feeling tired and your body wants to give you energy, but it can't, it can use the compounds in an adaptogenic product to bring your energy levels back up. And if on the other side, you're trying to rest or you're trying to calm down, but you're like anxious, jittery or something like that, it can really help to de-escalate and to calm things down. So this is basically a product of 8 different adaptogenic mushrooms that all have these very profound effects. This was the primary reason that I wanted to add this product to my shake. However, there are a lot of other benefits which could be really helpful for you. So the name of the product is basically Antiox. So antioxidant. This is extremely antioxidant rich. If you're ever eating something that's very rich in antioxidants, it's also usually very rich in different types of polyphenolic compounds, which have a very profound effect at improving the diversity and the health of your gut and your microbiome. So this in itself is like a prebiotic, but it's not like a prebiotic like inulin or fructooligosaccharides or all of these other types of more sort of, I consider these like brutish fibers or a bit like stupid fibers, you know? If you have SIBO or IBS, there's a really good likelihood that taking any of these other fibers is going to make you feel terrible. This is different because it's polyphenolically based. So it's going to have a very profound prebiotic effect without giving you all of the nasty bloating, gas, constipation, diarrhea effects that you'd get from like a traditional prebiotic product. Swap this out for something that's a little bit cheaper, or if you don't do mushrooms for some reason, swap it out for something else, like maybe an ashwagandha powder, or maybe you could put some turmeric in there instead. Maybe that could work for you. And finally on the list today, so we've gone through 4 products already, just to recap: whey protein powder, multi-collagen powder, including types 1, 2, 3, 5, and 10, raw cacao for flavor, polyphenols, gut boosting, mood boosting, and the mushroom product that we just took a look at. Finally on this list, we have got this product here. And probably you don't know what this says, because I also don't know what this says, but I do know what this product is. This is wheatgrass juice powder. So very important distinction again, very kind of similar to with this product here, the mushroom product. You can buy wheatgrass powder. And this is basically wheatgrass that is then turned into a powder. This is not the same thing. This is wheatgrass juice powder. So they juice it and then turn the juice into the powder. As a consequence, this is 3 or 4 times more expensive than wheatgrass powder. However, it's 10 times denser in nutrients. So it's very, very, very much worth going for the wheatgrass juice powder instead, because you're concentrating all of the things that you want. You're getting more of the nutrients. You're getting more of the chlorophyll. This is the primary reason for adding something like this. So you can see it. I don't know if you can see it just here. Source of chlorophyll. So chlorophyll has a very profound effect. It's beneficial on your microbiome. It's 1 molecule away from red blood cell, from hemoglobin, basically. If you swap the magnesium out and put an iron in, it's basically the same as what's in your blood. So it's basically like almost like a plant-based blood transfusion. It's very powerful for antioxidant support and supporting detox as well. I do actually swap this out with spirulina occasionally. So I have a spirulina product. It's in the kitchen. My desk is covered in, look at the size of this. My desk's covered in stuff. So I didn't bring it, but sometimes I will swap this wheatgrass juice powder out for spirulina. They taste almost exactly the same. If you've ever had either of these, you know what it tastes like. It tastes healthy. Also, meaning kind of tastes disgusting. So I will put a very small amount of this. We're talking maybe like 1/4 teaspoon. And even then, the flavor of it still dominates. So that's how you know it's very powerful and very profoundly healthy, because it tastes healthy. So I basically grab these 5 powders. I mix them up. I will use either milk from the supermarket. I don't have access to raw milk at the minute. Just regular conventional milk is fine for me. I don't have any problems. You could also mix this up with something like vegetable juice. That would actually be a really strong suggestion. If you were doing juicing, you could take a little bit of that juice and use it to do this. And then you probably could skip this last one as well. I'm using this because I'm kind of lazy. Juicing is a challenge. I did it for 5 years straight. I kind of need a little bit of a break. So I'm having a bit of compassion and a little bit of grace with myself. It definitely isn't as good, like doing this versus actually adding like real raw juice, like juice that you masticate at home using your own juicer. That is definitely the better option, but you also have to be realistic. And sometimes I wake up and I'm like, cool, I have 5 minutes to eat and I need to go. So this is really nice because I can just throw it together really fast, blend it up, drink it and go. So these are my 5 mystery powders that I blend up every single morning and I have as a part of my breakfast. Did anything on this list surprise you? Is there anything on this list that you are already doing? And would you be interested in me doing a deep dive into all of these different types of collagen? If so, make sure you leave me a comment so that I know that you want it. And if you have any questions about any of the things that I talked about today, please do let me know. I'd be really interested to hear what you have to say. So that's everything from me today. Hope you found this really interesting, insightful, and you learned something. If you learned something, let me know what you learned below, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.